Hello, this is going to be my first video recording Mythica. I thought that the first video on my page should probably be about why I changed my name from Mania to Mythica. Although everyone's been really great about it. I mean, just fantastic in terms of being supportive, more than a lot of the other names that I've gone through in my life. By which the way has been a lot. I've been through, well, I started out in my childhood, as my brother called and pointed out the other day. My parents and my brother and his wife call me Nicole or Nikki. Those were my childhood names. I spent like the first 5 years of my life being called Nikki, and then when I went to school wanted to be a little more grown up, and so went by Nicole. But then later on I found out that wasn't my real name. I was like, talking to my mom, she's like, yes, actually your name is Nicolay. I was like, what? I feel betrayed. I have a secret identity I didn't know about all these years. And so sure enough, on my birth certificate, there's an accent mark over the E for Nicolay. So then after I got out of high school, I went by Nicolay because it seemed the more adult thing to do. And I went by that when I moved up to like Maryland, I think. Again, just sort of an adult transition kind of thing. So, then I met my first husband and got into role-playing games and became this character named Kitty, or who went by Kitty. So everyone was calling me Kitty for a long time. And we ended up moving out here to Colorado. And so for people who first knew me here, the ones who know me the oldest here in Colorado, they first knew me as Kitty. And then I went to a retreat, and the people at the retreat were like, what is this stuff all about? Kitty is just a persona, it's not who you really are. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. Okay, cool. I'm back to Nicolay. So then some people know me as Nicolay. And then I met my ex-wife, and she named me Mania. And so I would say that Mania is the name that I've gone by the longest. There's other names. There's people in my church back in Epiphany who knew that my saint name was Gabriel. There were people during the time that I was with my first husband Griffin who knew me as Eagleheart because that was my Native American name. And there's other people who know me as Queza because when I was really sick, I had to change the persona of the Mania who was sick to somebody who was not. And I lost friends and stuff over that. And that really broke my heart, and that was really sad. But anyway. But I'm really, really glad that during this transition with Mythica, that people have been really cool about it. So on to the story about Mythica, now that you know about all the other vastiness of names and why they were there. My ex-wife came to see me at Rooster and Moon Coffee House and Coffee Pub. And in fact, I was painting their logo on the side of the building, which you should come by and see. It's totally awesome. The coffee house and the painting on the side of the building. But I was up on 20-foot scaffolding, and she came by to drop off some pictures. And I told her I couldn't get down off the scaffolding because I'd just gotten back up after lunch. And my heart is just beating out of my chest. And I'm trying to paint on the freaking moon, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to concentrate here. And I'm painting, and it's like, okay, we're painting the moon. We need to concentrate on the moon. The moon is also called Luna. We had a cat named Luna. Oh, God. You know, and I just, oh. my body, my visceral, physical being did not belong to me. Now, I had gone through 3 years of therapy at Metro. You know, great counseling, great interns, good people, really helped me a lot. And sorry about the gum. And you know, I did the cutting of the cords, cutting your chakras so that you're not connected to the old, and, you know, burning of papers and giving back of stuff, you know, all the stuff that you're supposed to do when you go through breaking up on a long-term relationship. So I thought it was fine, except for this is the first time that she's really spent any amount of time with me since we broke up like 7 years ago. And so I went to this retreat called Dionysia, and afterwards, the first whole day, I spent journaling, trying to figure out, God, what is wrong with me? Why do I feel just so disoriented? Why am I so off balance? You know, I did everything that was right. What's going on? I don't understand. And then my friend Candace comes in, and she says, would you like to be a part of the replanting ritual? And I'm like, hey, I'm on vacation. Why not? She goes, okay. So she paints a little line on my forehead, this, that, and a little seedling on my forehead. Later, I ended up drawing my own with Sharpie markers. I have pictures on it on Facebook if you want to go look. And, you know, it was cool. There's a lot of stuff that was in the ritual that, you know, getting into the circle, things that were said, but the important part is this. They laid us down on sheets. We laid down, they covered us. You know, they laid out like you would see in bodies of, where there was some tragedy, and you just laid down rows of people on sheets and covered their faces. And Candace walked around the circle and said, your friends are dead now. They are dead, and with them are all negative ties to the past. And as I'm lying there under the sheet, I'm like, oh, this is how I'm gonna fix whatever's wrong with me. This feeling in my chest where it like physically hurts right here. Intellectually, I couldn't get rid of to save my life because I didn't know how to. I mean, I tried to talk out of it, and that didn't work. And so handfuls of ceremonial dirt was put on top. And she says, we're burying all of that stuff. They are dead. You can mourn them now. And they did. People really, really cried. I mean, like wailing cried and howling like wolves, and it was really intense. And then I realized this was about Mania. This was about the name of Mania. This was about the fact that my name Mania came from my ex-wife. And she had named me. It wasn't my name. She had named me. And that's why she was having that effect on me. And then Candace said, and now these new people are going to be, these new beings are going to be born and sprout up out of the earth because they have been replanted. And so I burst up out of the covers, and I went over to my friends, and they're like, embrace them back into the community. And they were like, hi, Mania. And I was like, it was visceral. Like I had a body reaction, like, that is not my name. It's not my name anymore. but I also didn't know what my name was, and I couldn't verbalize or articulate things, so I had to go away for a little while. Just walk away after the ritual was over. And I was talking to people, and I was talking to my friend Kelly and his girlfriend Selena. And when I was talking to Selena, somebody came up and said her name, and it triggered a memory of a story I wrote. And I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to remember about the story? And then it hit me, it's not about the story, it's about the storyteller. You see, back in 2003, 2004, somewhere in there, I wrote an allegory for my own life called Mythica's Story. And it was about the journey of how Mania became Mythica. And I'm like, oh, I could never finish writing the story. It's because I didn't know how Mania became Mythica. And here it was, and this was how Mania became Mythica. I know what the end of the story is now. And it didn't come from an ex-wife, and it didn't come from an ex-husband, because my last name, Von Griffin, that's from my ex-husband. So I came up with no name. But Mythica came from the divine. Mythica came from the universe. And even when my brother called and said, well, why don't you go back to your real name, Nicole? And I'm like, Nicole is a childhood name. That's not actually what's on my birth certificate. What's on my birth certificate is Nicolay. And nobody, not even my parents, call me Nicolay, even though that's my legal birth name. So that wasn't it either. Nikki and Nicole is just, I'm going to be stuck with my parents calling me that for the rest of my life. We're all stuck with our parents calling us whatever it is that they call us. But that's not even my, whatever the heck real means. There's cultural values about the importance of names. And it depends on the culture that you come from. Well, my own personal culture is that my name has changed about every 5 years of my life. Even if those names had to do with role-playing characters. Because, good Lord, I have like 12 role-playing names that I'm also, people didn't know me in my role-playing games by my real name. They only knew me by my character names. And that was during the time that I was Mania. There's still a ton of people that still think of me as Star. Or Jane Doe. Or Eleanor. And yeah, I came up with those names, but they were caricatures. They're not real. Anyway, I'm sure this is too long now. And that's how Mania became Mythica. Thanks. Love you. Bye.